Episode 1, The Storm's Lullaby. The sky over the rolling hills turned the color of a bruised plum. Cove stood on the steps of the small wooden caravan, watching the clouds heavy with secrets. The air was thick and still, the way it feels just before the world decides to take a deep breath. "Inside now, little one," Elvie called out with a voice like warm honey. She held the door wide, her silhouette framed by a glowing golden light. Just as Cove hopped inside, the first heavy drops of rain began to drum a rhythmic beat against the curved roof. Inside, the caravan felt like the center of the world. The walls were lined with polished cedar that smelled of summer forests and dry earth. Lanterns hummed with a soft, amber glow, casting long, dancing shadows that made the tiny room feel like a secret treasure chest. On the tiny cast-iron stove, a pot of vegetable soup began to simmer and pop. Elvie stirred it slowly, the wooden spoon making a soft clack-clack against the side. The steam rose in swirling ribbons, carrying the scent of rosemary and thyme through the cozy air. Cove sat at the small table, staring into a porcelain teacup filled with amber chamomile. Outside, a bright flash of lightning cracked across the sky. For a split second, the jagged white bolt was reflected perfectly in the calm surface of the tea, like a captured star. A deep, low rumble of thunder rolled over the hills, making the windows rattle ever so slightly. Cove jumped, but Elvie was right there. She placed a hand on Cove's shoulder, her touch steady and sure. "Listen to the rhythm," she whispered. "The storm is just the earth's way of singing itself to sleep." Elvie reached for a match and struck it with a crisp scritch. She lit a small, scented candle that smelled of sweet beeswax. The tiny flame flickered bravely, a miniature sun that chased away any lingering shadows from the corners of the caravan. Cove climbed into the built-in bunk, pulling a thick, woolly blanket up to the chin. The blanket was heavy and soft, like a giant hug from a friendly cloud. The sound of the rain had changed from a pelt to a steady, soothing hum, a lullaby played on a wooden drum. Elvie sat in her rocking chair by the stove, the wood creaking softly with every movement. Creak-rock, creak-rock. She watched the rain wash the world clean outside the window, knowing that they were safe, dry, and warm in their little golden shell. The lightning faded to a distant glow, and the thunder became a faint murmur. Cove closed their eyes, listening to the hiss of the kettle and the patter of the rain. The storm wasn't scary anymore. It was the music that guided them into a deep, peaceful sleep.